Hello guys, I'm Jon Michael Kondrath with ReKon Productions, and I'm here with Marielle Woods, writer and director of the short film Do No Harm, which filmed here in ReKon Studio, and you worked with some of our producers on our production team.
Yes, we did. We shot here in October, I think.
Sounds about right.
Yep.
So tell me a little bit about your experience as a writer and director, and why do you tell stories about action?
Growing up, I was super into sports and guns and swords and all that fun stuff. It never occurred to me that that's what I wanted to do until I came out to LA. And working on those Discovery Channel shows and blowing things up and flipping cars and, you know, interviewing former members of the Whitey Bulger gang and then reenacting their stories, I was like, holy, this is 1,000% what I want to be doing. But mostly I just really enjoy it. Like, I don't think I'm ever happier than when we get to blow stuff up or light people on fire or, you know, kick the shit out of someone. Sorry, I don't know if I can curse.
Sure, why not? So you took this experience that you've been collecting and decided to write the short film Do No Harm and then directed it yourself.
Yeah.
What inspired you to tell that particular story?
I tend to skew towards stories that are inherently action-driven, but also grounded in the real world. So that generally means military, crime, law enforcement. And I've been interested, or I had been interested, in combat medics for a while. I think I had read an article on Facebook about some like new medical technology that had been introduced for the battlefield. And it just got me on this like rabbit hole of research where I started reading about like combat medics from all the different wars that have happened and different branches of the military. And I guess that planted the seed. I think it's an interesting kind of dichotomy in job, in personnel for a medic to be someone whose job it is to save lives in an environment where you're also asked to take lives when necessary. I definitely was very naive going into it, and I got my ass handed to me by the veterans and servicemen and women who ended up being a huge help in reformulating the script and actually were on set with us. I learned a ton, and it was really a difficult writing process for me. Because I come from the kind of documentary world, I feel a great deal of responsibility to do justice to the authenticity of the world that I'm building, and it was a struggle for me to kind of like find a way to tell a compelling story that I wanted to tell and have it be something that civilians and military personnel can watch and be affected by. So it was hard. It was tough. It was really tough.
We did the set build here in
Yes,
ReKon
we did.
Studio.
Yeah, you did.
What were some of the benefits and challenges working in a smaller studio?
I love ReKon, and I've worked with you guys a fair amount on like a number of different projects, from branded content to scripted work. And going into this knowing I wanted to do a set build, I immediately thought, okay, we're going to do this at ReKon. It was definitely a tight space for us, but I think it worked to our advantage in that way. I mean, certainly financially it was a good call on our end. It also made it feel more contained, which is something I liked, and in a weird way kind of brought a little bit of that like location feel. And I think shooting in this kind of contained space did actually help us feel the compression of the story that we were shooting. I think it ended up being the perfect size. I wouldn't have wanted that room to be any bigger, and the studio had everything we needed it to have. I don't think we could have done this without ReKon, honestly. I think the set looked great. I mean, I truly, the set, like, the set was insane. People watched that movie, and kudos to not just the art department, but also, you know, the lighting team and Bobby, my DP, for also lighting it and helping me frame it in such a way that people who watch it are shocked that that's a build, you know? When they find that out, that's pretty much the number one thing that they can't believe about the movie.
Right. And you also mentioned that you used some of the other production support from ReKon. What
Yeah.
was it like working with, you know, producers here, part of the ReKon production team?
I can only say great things about working with you guys. It offered, for me as a director, a very comfortable safety blanket of knowing that all those logistical things were just going to be handled. I think a lot in these kind of like small independent productions, it's really easy to take on too much, and leading into this, I definitely had bitten off more than I could chew, because I'm also a producer. I've produced, and you know, you think, oh, we can handle all this, and honestly, I wish we had brought all of that production staff in a little sooner.
With the help of ReKon, were you able to tell your story?
I really don't know where else we would have gotten a production company that also ended up being the location. I know there are certainly other producers out there, but it really felt like we were able to do, rehearsals here. We were able to do development here. That's all stuff that, was really luxurious for a small-time director like myself.
For now.
For now, yeah.
We are ReKon.
ReKon shares stories.